This is kind of a good draw for Sunsei. It feels like, you know, Plup is so good versus everybody, except like these up-and-coming, like super cracked foxes are pretty scary for Plup because, you know, the Sheik matchup is hard because, you know, Plup doesn't have like the absolutely perfect RTCs. And then in the Fox Dittos, that's just a traditionally very upset-heavy matchup because the punish game is so good. So this could be scary for Plup. I haven't seen Sunsei too much in this matchup. He did play Nut in the pre-local, and I think Nut did win the pre-local. But, you know, doesn't mean too much here. You're in winner's side top 8 now, so.
I think one thing that will hurt Sunsei is kind of, you're mentioning, I don't really know how he does versus Sheik. I don't think he has as much kind of regular play versus Sheik. Like you've mentioned earlier, in the kind of Slippy era, that doesn't mean as much. You know, you can still easily get practice versus Sheik online, you know, but it's still worth saying that, like, back when he lived in Toronto, he wasn't playing like a ton of top Sheiks. He's playing people like Moki, Nunn, etc. Able to live there.
Yeah, great
so
angle.
I'm kind of curious to see how this will play out. You know, like you mentioned the loss to Nut, like that's not someone you would expect to see Sunsei lose to, but he is playing pretty well so far.
Yeah, I know SoCal in chat right now is like, nah, Nut's the GOAT. We all expected that. Like, come on. That's not how it was seeded, you know? Definitely a bit of an upset. But
well, again, at his peak, like he's looking like someone who can take games out of the top 5. So,
yeah,
you know, of course, not to discredit, not like you said though. That's definitely not me saying that.
Oh, not able to get that edge guard at over 100%, but
I can't believe that grab didn't work. That was like a weird, been like an ECB thing that kind of like right behind Peach and still, or sorry, behind Sheik and didn't get it.
Nice. Trying to get in there, back air, see what the edge guard is.
Nice, that'll do it. So far we haven't really seen kind of meaningful tech chase opportunities from Plup. That's a huge part of what kind of makes this matchup more doable, especially because it honestly is pretty rough for Sheik, in my opinion. But this should be the first big one. Able to get, a whole stock off of it.
Ooh, but Sunsei,
kind of saved him there.
Of life. Oh, doesn't get the fastball to ledge. Nice edge guard from Plup. Yeah, Plup always seems to start Sheik in this matchup. And then, you know, regardless of it, big up airs. Regardless of whether he wins or loses, he likes picking Fox on the counter pick. So we'll see what he does here.
Sheik is an interesting character because crouch cancel is just such an important part of how you kind of plan your neutral game around her. And you kind of get like a bit of a freebie. Like, you know when you want to get like a Netflix trial or something, you get like a 1 month kind of free trial just to sort of test it out? That's kind of like neutral versus Sheik. You get 1 month and then your trial expires, you pass around like say 50, 60%, and then suddenly things like dash attack knock you down and you're like, okay, never mind. But
but if you're playing a super tech chase heavy Sheik, then even at 0 it's scary because like if they just, you know, boost grab you, it's like, am I gonna die now? Like, what's gonna happen, you know? Oh wow, big punish from Plup.
And you know, you mentioned that. That's actually a thing that kind of a lot of Sheik players I know talk about, where there's sort of this problem of, that's gonna do it. Wow,
Great
the double
punish.
up air. Really good awareness from Sunsei. What I was gonna say earlier is basically just like, sometimes Sheiks play too by the book. They kind of think about like, okay, I'm only gonna start going for X when it starts working at X%. And they don't grab like at the higher percents enough, for example. Like, so that's something that kind of has really made Jmook a very, very kind of big threat, is he's just willing to kind of commit to a raw grab.
Yeah, Plup has his grab now. Seeing a decent punish, but drops it there.
Just barely late too. Almost got it.
Yeah, but at least you get Fox out of, you know, knockdown percent, which is nice.
This is such a good punish. Good slide up though
Slide
from
on the
Sunsei.
top flat. That's wild.
And we are actually, okay, no, never mind. We got the feed again.
All right, get in that edge guard. Plup doing well here. See what Sunsei can answer back with.
Really like that nair pressure from Sunsei. Charging the up smash, not going to kill, but already this is a solid amount of damage. Wants to just keep resetting the situation. It doesn't get the needle.
The needles, yeah, needles. They have a hurt box, and that happens a lot when they're on the ground. And leading to big reversal for Plup. Messing up the ledge hop bear, but still. Okay, doesn't get the kill. Oh, that needle turnaround was tricky.
We've seen Sunsei actually drop like a lot of kind of crucial moments, but amazing angle there. But this is like the third kind of situation where he had an opportunity to get the stock and just hasn't been able to do it. And now Plupp's lead grows further and further. You know, like this game is looking rough.
Yeah, I like the needle turnarounds that Plupp is doing because it's like you see Sheik doing an action and you're like, oh, she's going to be in lag when she lands, but it's just like a lagless thing that he's doing in the air. Kind of contorts her hurt box a little bit too. Okay, gets that kill. Plupp has a pretty decent lead here. Fox can still crouch cancel some stuff though. Oh, nice out of that.
Oh, there's no jump. Able to get to ledge though, up tilt and then up air. No, weak nair.
Yeah, I like the idea that could have just been death right there.
Yeah, the way that Sunsei uses nair kind of is a bit more improvisational, and it's a bit like unconventional, which is worked out when he's getting these kind of openings, but he's just like not able to get the kill. And as I say that, give a little blessing there.
Plupp's an aggressive player, and he just is kind of forcing his way in off those needles, and that jab up smash is just gonna beat him. Okay, these needles.
Could do it.
We're gonna see just a classic ledge hop bear, rinse and repeat, but I guess not. Kind of trying to end that early, you know? Sometimes you just gotta ledge hop bear like 10 times, but the Fox will eventually die.
You could also kind of go for a suicide edge guard in that situation, but
yeah,
you know, Fox's recovery being so strong, maybe Plupp just didn't feel confident that he could get that. But this is the opportunity that, you know, Sunsei needs to turn it around.
Should be it here. Okay. You know, good game for Plupp, but dropping that edge guard and then missing the wave dash to the ledge at the very end, like, gotta hope that you're not missing tech seal on the counter pick, which he does stay Sheik for. Okay, so we're gonna see potentially all Sheik from Plupp. Hungrybox is in losers as well, so if Plupp wins this, you know, we'll see if he decides to go Sheik, Cody.
Ooh, love the forward air edge cancel on the platform. Really, really liking the way. I mean, this is why kind of Sunsei is a fan favorite, is he sort of gets custom a lot. Right? Another tech chase opportunity, keeping it simple with the forward air. Oh, that's not good though.
Okay, they're both fine. They're both okay. Sometimes some of that stuff happens and then no one loses stock and everybody takes a deep sigh.
All right, just goes for the raw grab. Okay.
I don't think that was on purpose, but it worked out.
Yeah, even just Plupp's expression kind of looks like, okay, well, we'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take it. Oh, misses the tech chase.
His power shield, not going to get it though. Another tech chase opportunity, re-grab. Looking for the platform tech chase, I would assume. Yeah, nice down smash.
Okay, Plupp. Good here.
So this is Sunsei's counter pick. He's obviously looking for those early kills off of the ledge, but this also gives him like kind of more space to go for the tech chases. This is kind of like FD light. I'm sort of surprised we just didn't go to FD, to be honest. That's kind of a stage that Plupp historically has really disliked. He used to play Samus on it.
Yeah, I think FD is definitely a slightly better pick versus Plupp specifically, but they're pretty similar stages.
I actually really like that dash attack off of the up throw, able to get even just 6% in a situation where it kind of looked like you were going to get nothing.
Plupp has been getting drill strike up smash a lot at these low percents. Happened like 3 or 4 times. So I'm going to, maybe he'll start ASDI down teching it. At low percents he can do that at Sheik. Because he's not going for the long wave shines.
Yeah, famously, Jmook did that versus Leffen at Summit and kind of won the set because of it. So up smash no longer kind of as safe of an option as it was, say, 5 years ago.
It's not hard to do, but it's also like, are they going to up smash there? But he's always been up smashing there after one shine, so I think Plupp should definitely start going for it. It does get you, it can get you a grab.
And, you know, this is a big, big moment for both of them. You know, you need to win on your counter pick. The matches have been fairly close. It looks like, you know, kind of every lead counts. And Sunsei has so much to prove. So this is a big moment.
Hey, Plupp taking a solid lead. Crowd picking up for PNW here.
This is big, yeah. Using the wave dash back.
But still getting another tech chase out of all that.
kind of looking like curtains for Sunsei, but able to get out of the grab and right back into it, though, with the up B.
Oh, Plup, the quarter pressure is so nice. Sunsei able to survive it. Let's see if he can get an edge guard here. Oh, messes up the wave shine. Oh, Plup.
Beautiful double down tilt by Plup. Getting another kind of grab situation. Probably going to be the stock jab. Nair is going to do it.
Yeah.
We're going to game 4. I'm kind of thinking we're going to see FD. I feel like it might even be a bit of a mistake to have not taken him there initially, but there might be something that Sunsei dislikes about it. You know, it can be a bit polarizing. Feeling like you don't have a way to escape the tech chase also can be really difficult. Sunsei has been using slide off DI a lot, so that might be the reason, but still. One question I have for you is, like, some players like to do stuff that their opponent dislikes, and some players like to do stuff that they like. Where do you kind of stand in that from the kind of counter pick philosophy? Would you rather play on a stage that your opponent really hates or a stage you feel comfortable on?
I think you got to do what you're comfortable on for the most part, but I guess the other thing about that is, as a top player, you should be comfortable on your good counter pick, you know? Like, you'll see a lot of, for example, like Marth, a lot of low and mid-level Marth are like, oh, I can't chain grab, I'm not going to go to FD. But if you're like a top-level Marth and you're like...
You got to have that.
You have to have that, you know? I think it's a little less applicable to Fox, though, because in every matchup, it feels like he has 2 counter picks, you know? Stadium and FD in a lot of matchups versus Marth, Yoshi's, and Dreamland. Oh, all the way across the entirety of FD.
And
wow.
Gets the stock too.
And that down smash does it. That was kind of the first extended wave shine we saw from today.
Kind of figures that it's on FD too.
Yeah.
Going for the Nair extension into the regrab. This is really big damage. How does Plup get down? Apparently he doesn't.
Yeah, apparently he does not. That is a lot of percent, and now, you know, weak Nair up smash, bear up smash.
Yeah, running shine
grab.
up smash. There's so many kill setups for Sunsei, but it might not matter because Plup is getting a grab, keeping him in the corner, and now he's forced to up B.
And now tech chase opportunity.
Oh, that's it. Oh, doesn't go for the up air.
I feel like versus, you know,
Doesn't
if you're
matter.
playing Plup versus if you're playing J-Move, like, it feels like FD is just a lot better because the percentage of times you're dying off a grab feels lower. You know, on FD, it feels like Sheik's tech chasing is so brutal.
Yeah, Plup has always been someone who feels like he really has struggled to kind of refine the tech chase game in a way that someone like, say, Drugfox or J-Move hasn't, or like Wizrobe with Falcon. I know Plup has tweeted before saying, like, I practiced tech chasing for 8 hours straight and still didn't get it working. So clearly,
it's hard with Sheik.
I mean, it's so hard. There's a reason why, like, everyone isn't playing Sheik and doing it constantly, but still, it's so necessary at the top level.
Even Falcon is, you know, easier because he's got that, he's got the butt grab, so tech in place is easier to cover. Plus, he can tech chase with aerials, and his aerials are so strong compared to Sheik's aerials.
Yeah,
so he can end it earlier.
That's one of the reasons why you'll see Plup kind of go for that wave dash after the down throw, just to kind of deal with the ambiguous DI, where, as you were saying with Falcon, like, the behind grab kind of doesn't matter as much.
Yeah. But yeah, despite this being a generally a good counter pick for Fox, Plup is keeping it really close. That's not going to kill. Oh, scouts out the falling there.
SDI.
Yeah, good SDI. Oh, Plup jumping into that shine, helping him live, but not for long.
I really love the awareness there from Sunsei, going for the jab into resetting it with the edge guard rather than trying to go for an up smash directly. That's the kind of awareness that guarantees the stock, and most people wouldn't do that. But we're right back to even, and, you know, Sunsei, his winner's life is on the line. He does not want to go down to losers.
Oh, gets the jump. This has to be a lot of damage. Plup makes it down. Plup has been, oh, SDI.
It doesn't matter.
But yeah, Sunsei, Plup's defensive play has been so good, but
Oh, the
Sunsei's
CC.
offensive play is even better, it feels like. Okay.
This is going to be pretty difficult to recover
Yeah.
from here. Yep. Sunsei taking game 4. We are going to a game 5.
Another game 5 radar.
Yoshi's maybe?
been
What are you
like,
feeling? It's hard to say.
Yeah. Maybe.
Dreamland?
I don't know. Maybe back to
Battlefield,
Battlefield?
of
Okay,
course, the
yeah.
classic.
So Sunsei actually won game 1, so Plup can go back to Battlefield without having to ask about it.
Big up air, though. This is the damage that Sunsei needs if he wants to take this. It's so hard to even say if he's like the underdog here because like Plup is kind of in a weird spot where he's been this like literally top 3 player, kind of one of the sort of best ever. But then he's also sort of like seemingly had a bit less kind of motivation. He hasn't been traveling nearly as much, having spoken about really disliking traveling. So we just haven't seen Plup as much, and that's why this feels a bit more doable. But like Sunsei beating Plup is a huge win, right? Like
yeah. I mean, despite Plup like getting upset by Foxes sometimes, he still does stuff like that. And I mean, he still won a tournament last year, right? He won CEO last year, you know. And even though Plup is, you know, not that far numerically speaking from Sunsei on the rankings, like the gap between someone who's won majors and someone who hasn't is so big.
Absolutely, that's the thing. Like it seems like if Sunsei were to win this, it'd be like, wow, good for Sunsei. But if Plup were to win this, like, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to think of the wording, and I'm getting interrupted by just a really sick reset.
Going off the drill reset, but Plup, great DI on the up smash. Oh, the crowd is loving all of this from Sunsei. Plup trying to make it
really
back.
Powerful dash attack, actually. The kind of lingering hitbox and dash attack, making it just difficult to get around. And really good SDI, but it doesn't matter. Single hit up air, closes it out, and Sunsei has a solid lead. 58% though. Crouch cancel is not going to save him. The free trial is over, as we said before.
Plup's been like doing so well with SDI, holding down, and Sunsei's been even better. You know, good offense just beats good defense, it feels like, in this game. And it's been working out well for Sunsei. Oh,
I love the shine. Definitely Sunsei uses Nair in such a creative way. One of the kind of best users of Nair that kind of we see with Fox. Really good patience. Shield as well, not getting clipped by the downer. I love that down tilt as well. Edge cancel, side B. Sunsei, so many good options. This should be an easy edge guard.
Okay. See what Plup can get here. 0%
Nice
Fox.
shield.
This is rough to deal with for a lot of characters, but especially Sheik. And just the boost grab. This is like your, so what we were talking about, the 0% option. Oh, drops the tech chase, yeah.
Sunsei, 21%. You know, you talked about 0% Fox being difficult to deal with. 21%, not much better. We've got Sunsei chant in the crowd. Not sure if people can actually hear it, so
yeah.
I don't think we have crowd mics, but definitely the crowd is popping off.
Oh my god, the tipper up smash, another last stock game 5. We saw it with Hungrybox and Cody. We're seeing it again here.
Oh, and just like that, the Plup chant.
Wow, we have a fickle crowd here at Major Upset. Oh, they're competing chants.
Oh my gosh, this is so close, but he's getting so much damage already, continuing the tech chase.
Oh, that up air doesn't knock down. That one does, Plup. Can he get the tech chase on the top platform?
This is such a big opening.
Oh, both these players are so scared. Great DI on the up tilt.
Any other situation, if he doesn't get clipped there, he takes the stock, but this is a big...
Oh my god, good SDI! Plup, he's gonna recover, he grabs ledge. Oh, that up...
Gets clipped.
Supposed to be an up air, it feels like.
Oh, this is so close, both of them.
Oh
up air?
My god. Just falling down with the fair, and that will do it. Plup beats Sunsei. Game 5 last stock.
What a crazy set.
Wow.
You could really feel the nerves in that last stock.
Yeah.
Like, definitely, especially on Sunsei's end. Kind of got so many situations where he just barely got clipped, but was still in it, and Plup manages to close it out. That was closer than I expected.
Yeah. That was, oh, another banger set. The crowd's loving it.
Yeah.
Two of the biggest crowd favorites, I think, just like at any tournament. Sunsei and Plup. Plup's fan base rolls so deep. It's like in Twitch chat, in the crowd, you know, in person, he just got fans everywhere, and like it's hard not to be a Plup fan with the way he plays.
Yeah, definitely a very entertaining player. He's always, to me, come across as someone who's very like about the game.
Yeah.
You know, like other people seem to kind of care more about like not just like the content, but kind of like I feel like you can tell there's like certain different types of players in the scene, and Plup is the kind of player to go to an event and just play Melee the whole time. You know, they're not going like to try out great food. They're not going like to hang with their friends for the most part. He's just like very, very, very focused on playing. It just seems to be the thing he kind of loves the most. And of course, like everyone who's in top 8 loves Melee, but he feels to me like someone who's just really, really, really down to kind of exclusively play Melee all the time.
Yeah. I mean, he also lives around here, too,
Yeah.
so that's also kind of an advantage. You don't need to do any of that tourist stuff, and, you know,
That's
there's
true.
no dealing with travel and stuff like that. Yeah, we got players walking up for the next sets.
Are they booing? Trying to see
I
who-
don't think they were booing. I thought they were cheering. Are they saying boo earns?
We're going to get one more from losers quarterfinals, so it'll be probably either Sunsei Amsa or HBox Lod.
I'd imagine HBox Lod, because you give Sunsei like a break after.
Yeah, that makes sense.
after that
I mean, I
set.
just heard Jigglypuff,
Yeah.
so.
All
got
right,
HBox.
Radar.
Some would say
HBox
he's the
Lod.
LeBron of Melee, you know?
I've heard that before. I've heard
yeah,
that
exactly.
One before,
People
yeah.
do say it. And of course, we have the fresh cut QR code on this side over here. Make sure to scan that. That will contribute to the pot. It's completely free, so you know, a good way to support the scene. You know, obviously Melee in many ways is more grassroots than it was a year ago, so we really got to kind of band together, do our best to keep events like this alive, and especially when you're just starting out and doing something in Portland for the first time, you know, show support, keep it going. We want to have another major upset next year.
Yeah, I believe so far we definitely had at least 700 downloads, maybe getting close to 1,000 downloads there. And every download from that QR code is $1 to the pot, on top of the pot bonus that we already have and the entry fees. So definitely download it and check out cool clips from the Smash community. Follow your favorite players. Probably been a lot of great sets just in this top 8. There were a lot of great sets yesterday. You can check out all that on Fresh Cut. But yeah, HBox and Lod, I think they've come up. And yeah, this is a very storied, we can call it a rivalry,
Yeah,
right?
I would definitely call it a rivalry, but I do actually have a question before we get
Oh,
into
okay,
their
yeah.
rivalry. You mentioned earlier when we were commentating HBox that kind of like, you know, he doesn't air camp as much as some people say. What are your thoughts? Because, you know, one of the aspects of their rivalry is Lod saying that, like, we should change the rule set. We should not have HBox be able to kind of just, like, camp off the platforms, sort of stall, so to speak.
Yeah.
And as a puck player yourself, I want to hear your take. I want, like, you know, do you agree? Do you disagree?
I'd be fine with an airtime
Also,
limit.
HBox has 2 flowers
Yo,
now.
he doubled up. Wow. Is he going to get even stronger? Yeah, specifically versus Fox, I was saying that he doesn't actually spend that much time in the air, especially on FD. But versus Peach, he definitely favors the air a lot. They're starting on Dreamlands, and this is kind of interesting. Honestly, if Peach gets the lead here, she also has a lot of advantage when she's just floating above the top platform in the air, because her dare is so disjointed. She floats up in her dress, and it's really difficult for Jigglypuff to challenge. Problem is, it's a lot easier for Jigglypuff to get the lead because of rest and because of, you know, your moves being so favorable in terms of range.
Yeah, generally this was a matchup that we saw HBox dominate for so long. And then there was kind of a wave answering back from players like Polish, players like Lod, saying, hey, maybe Peach can do it. And then I feel like there was a new wave being like, I don't know, maybe Peach, like maybe this is just still so difficult. You know, we see Lod complaining about kind of some of the rules and strategies that are available to Puff. We see Polish playing Fox against HBox. It is very difficult, and a huge part of it, like you said, is, you know, who has the lead. If Peach doesn't, it's very difficult to approach when you have zoning options like back air, and rest is so hard to punish.
Yeah. And Dreamland being the starter, so already we're seeing like a pretty aggressive game, but they're pretty even too. So it doesn't feel like there's much reason for either of them to spend much time in the air. But yeah, whoever takes the first stock here, that's not a full lead, because, you know, if HBox takes the first stock, let's say, it'll still probably be pretty close to their like death percent. That one, you know, almost with a bad DI almost kills. But yeah, you generally want like a close to full stock lead.
Stitch face.
Oh,
Somehow it dodges it, basically,
Yeah.
like just kind of purely from the squat height.
and see, there's the dare. Challenging Peach is basically impossible at that height. You really can't do anything just because it's so disjointed. So now Lod has the lead, but this is a very small lead. So it's not going to matter too much in terms of the set. And that DI on the bear is going to give HBox a great edge guard opportunity.
Beautiful recovery from Laud, though. One of the reasons why this matchup can be so difficult as well is that typically Peach, lives for super, super high percents, but against Puff, Puff can actually go out and edge guard her. She can kind of contest the float. She can kind of contest her very, very powerful recovery. So being able to recover there, really, really important.
Yeah, and this is the advantage of Dreamland for Peach because she lives a long time as well, and if she does that high recovery, it's kind of hard for Puff to challenge. On something like Battlefield, it's easier to go out there because she's not going to get knocked as high a lot of the time, but when she's just floating really high and doing a drill, it's difficult. You got to come in from like kind of a diagonal angle. Oh, just rolling and he's just approaching with these FC nairs.
Peach kind of looking like Fox there, like really covering the roll options, able to put a lot of pressure on it and get like a sizable amount of damage. So far, Laud is in complete control in this stock.
Yeah, so something a lot of people don't know about Puff's forward roll is it's one of the few forward rolls, or the only forward roll in the game that's invincible on frame 2 instead of frame 4. And that provides it a lot of advantage versus Peach specifically because her FC aerials, they're going to link to down smash on shields. Except versus Jigglypuff, right there, he just forward rolls right through it because it's, those 2 frames make it so that her, +4 there or whatever doesn't lead it to down smash. So on Laud's end, Peach has to start reading the rolls that Puffs like to do after an aerial on shield. Yeah, this set is so, 3 stocks, 97% each after 4 minutes. Like, no one's really taking advantage here. Puff's throw is very, very interesting animation. The Wimpy. Oh, let's see. So, HBox pretty good at those wobbles usually, but good SDI from Laud there, and you had to do it a bunch of times on Dreamland until up smash starts killing. He could have tried to rest there, though.
Yeah, we generally don't see that kind of down air rest off like the spike stun. We got another Stitch in the game. Kind of not the time where you really want it. Beautiful power shield from HBox. That was like a pretty high stakes, high execution thing from HBox.
Yeah.
Kind of showing that he's confident if he's willing to like literally risk his stock going for the power shield when the kind of the payoff is not going to be the same.
And we're definitely on timeout pace here.
Absolutely.
Laud taking that lead. Gonna die pretty early.
Another Stitch.
Another Stitch, yep, it is.
I mentioned earlier when we were watching Kadoran versus Laud, kind of how turnips play a role in the matchup. Definitely a big thing here as well. If Peach with a turnip can be quite useful, but it does limit some of her options in terms of like what kind of moves she can throw out and allow Puffs to be a bit more aggressive. So it's tricky.
Yeah, Peach definitely has a lot more opportunities to grab turnips versus Jigglypuff than versus Marth, just because Puff is so slow. But you don't always want a turnip in hand. So. Okay, trying to get that up tilt would lead into rest if it shield poked.
HBox is just so good at recognizing situations, especially
so many back airs. Wow.
Any one of those could have been a rest.
Yeah,
actually.
that could have been back air rest on that DI. And then on the last one, I think HBox actually realized it on the last one, but he was off stage, so you don't want to just, die from it.
Yeah, and like might not have been worth it, getting the damage is huge, but as you mentioned before, we are absolutely going to go to time, and if you have a stock lead, like that's kind of basically like the win condition, right? You can kind of secure a victory. There's no way for your opponent to really engage at that point, but neither of them are really playing that passively for someone who only has 2 minutes left in the game.
Yeah. And, I was talking about how RTC rest is very scary to go for, even though it's easy versus Fox. But it's not scary to try that rest versus Peach. Like, you're not going to die. That's not going to kill. Like, that's an opportunity where if he was, like, grinding those drill, dash, jump, rests, he could have just gone for that. Not died from Peach coming off the Angel platform. But it doesn't matter too much. It doesn't take any additional percent, so.
Yeah, and ends up kind of getting a situation that, like, you really, really want when you're trying to play against a timeout. Right now, Laud has to take all of the initiative, although it is going quite well.
Okay, so this part is kind of interesting because we don't have specified rules on pounding in the air. We have a rule set that says you're not allowed to pound stall with rising pound, but we don't define that at all. So, okay, gets that up air snipe, but it's like as a Puff player, it's like, okay, you're going to timeout here probably. It's like, how many pounds am I allowed to do? Like, the TOs won't tell me, but I can't, like, do it forever and just win the game.
Grab.
But, Laud takes the lead. Wow. That down
You're
smash.
so close.
Oh,
Every hit is so important here. This is where things like turnips can be really good for chip damage, but we can see that HBox is already playing very defensive, trying to kind of play the keep away game, and Laud is struggling to answer back. Just using the height of the platform, that is a space that Peach can't really contest.
yeah, this circle camping strategy from HBox in the last minute is so effective. You know, Laud just has to get like such a massive read here.
Leffen is typing up a storm, okay?
Yeah.
His fingers are bloody
Oh,
from
no.
the essay he's writing, man.
They're
Like,
Dreamland clapping.
what are your thoughts on Dreamland clapping?
You know,
I'm not about it, but we got 15 seconds left. We can't forget, Laud needs a meaningful
Yeah,
opening, but how does he
it's-
take 40%?
over.
It's not happening unless,
unless like a bomb or something, but
yeah,
it's over now.
there is no bomb in sight. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And HBox takes game 1, and we are in for a long haul, you know.
Dude, HBox already looks tired. But
Yeah.
again, this is the LeBron thing, dude, I was talking about. He's like faking like he's tired. I actually saw, oh my God, big ultimate pop out from there. But I think there was a set versus Wizzy last year where like he went down 0-2 and just like looked super sad.
Beautiful tech, by the way.
And then reverse 3-0'd him. So like, even though HBox is like looking depressed in the camera, like, he's still like very determined, you know?
Yeah, so you know, like, you don't mean LeBron of Melee from like a legacy. You mean like kind of from like a character.
From like a character. If from a legacy thing, I think it's Mango in terms of like longevity.
Because I'm thinking like, you know, I'm
stuff.
talking about Leffen typing of a storm. I feel like
Yeah.
Mango hears this and is like, LeBron of Melee? What the
Yeah.
fuck? Like,
In terms of just being there for 20 years, that's definitely Mango. Just like
I think
been in the
HBox
scene
like lies a
forever.
lot. You ever seen LeBron's like line
Yeah, the
compilations?
liar. Yeah, those those are pretty funny.
HBox listens to classical music when he warms up, you know?
Oh yeah, I guess there are a lot of similarities now that I'm thinking about it more.
I get what you're saying. Like, HBox is definitely a character.
Yeah. And he's kind of like LeBron, he's kind of like the face of, not Melee specifically, like I would say that's Mango,
Smash
but of
more.
Smash as a whole, like Ultimate plus Melee, you know, if I'm talking to like somebody who doesn't know either game that well, they usually know Hungrybox,
Yeah.
you know, if not like Mewtwo King and Mango and Armada.
The Hungrybox definitely a notable person. Created in a content laboratory, you know?
Oh, wow, good holding down on Hungrybox there. That could have been a lot of FC aerial damage. But yeah, we're on FD here, and this is kind of a good, like, brutal counter pick for Peach because Puff can't really circle camp here. She has to land, and she doesn't have platforms to mix up her landing. Oh, see, there's the roll through again. That actually wasn't like a +4 aerial, but still being able to roll through that down smash. I've even seen like a weird tech where you can roll through and then rest the down smash, but I don't know how many situations that applies to.
So far, I feel like the stage has really been helping out Laud. You know, we saw HBox able to kind of abuse the platform camping. There is no platform camping when you don't have platforms. So right now, we're kind of seeing the difference it makes, and we're seeing why Laud kind of advocating against that, because it's just so much easier to deal with Puff when she can't kind of reset the situation by jumping off and on.
Oh, power
That's
shield
gonna
and
do
dash
it.
attack. Yeah, so that general neutral in Puff Peach is like Peach has to wait as late as possible to shield. And at least in the power shield, which isn't actually that good because it pushes you away further. You're not doing a grounded option out of it. But reacting late as possible is good so that you don't get like Tomahawk grabbed or something, which HBox hasn't been doing too much. He's been opting for like drill shield pokes, which are also really good.
Yeah, definitely the shield poke in particular, very, very strong. We've been seeing Laud use light shield to try to kind of play around that. But that is the first rest of the set, and you can see just how big it is. Only gets like 15% of forward air, kind of pretty much nothing. But Laud, unfazed, kind of, you got to be ready for those. He's just kind of playing calmly, and he's got 70% on the board. This is still big. We're not looking like we're going to get a timeout, and, you know, platforms are not in place, so Laud pretty comfortable. All right, able to follow the rolls pretty effectively, keeping him kind of just in bad spots. HBox really struggling to get in at this percent. Yeah, gets a counter in air. This is looking good for Laud.
Yeah, if you look at quite difficult, even with the rest at like 0%, Laud still has an extremely solid lead.
Yeah, like Damn, someone is popping off fiercely on the ultimate side, but
that down smash feels like it potentially like just sealed the game if HBox doesn't get a rest, you know. Oh, that could have been a rest off the back air too, but instead it's going to be a lot of percent. And
maybe even the stock, keeping the edge guard going.
Is he going to get this edge guard?
Basically no resources left for Laud. You know, you got to be thinking about things like float, like the double jump. Peach has so many recovery tools, but those tools, this is what I'm talking about. You're able to contest her off stage. No other character can do that. That's one of the reasons why this matchup is just brutal. Suddenly it looks doable for HBox.
Yeah, that was an incredible stock from HBox, just following him like constantly around there, because Laud was mixing up his recovery too. But yeah, one rest and, you know, Laud might have to pack it up.
Right now, you know, Laud doing a really good job just building up that percentage. I think kind of aware of the fact that the percent that he has right now won't lead to any like big meaningful hit. So like, you know, you get a hit, it's not going to kill. So you want to get a bit more percent so that the moves that you actually go for, like a grab, are going to do something.
That was such a scary grab. He keeps going for that shield poke, trying to get that shield poke up tilt, and Laud just knows that he's going to go for it. Oh.
I think one of the things that's impressing me the most with the way Laud is playing is during that last stock, we saw HBox going for, like, let's be real, the cheese. Going for the up tilt rest, trying to get these kind of moments that could swing things around. And that's not HBox's, like that's the correct strategy there. You're down 90, 50, like 90 to 100%. You need an opening. And rather than kind of like getting afraid of that and playing around it in a timid way, Laud would actually try to like bait it and punish it. Like he's like, I want you to do the up tilt. I'm going to tech it. I want you to do the up tilt. I'm going to space barely around it and air you. This is like really showing why Laud has been able to push HBox in this matchup, take sets off of him, and we are like even right now. Like I'm really, really interested to see how this Battlefield game goes.
Yeah, this is I think that FD game was definitely a momentum swinger for Laud, and yeah, the counter picks, you know, kind of interesting in this matchup. I think Battlefield feels like the best stage for Jigglypuff. Sometimes it's Dreamland, sometimes it's not. It's just like, it's like up to the Peach's mood, you know? It feels like where you start.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard to gauge what specifically Laud would be looking for. Like Yoshi's could work in some ways, but I feel like that's not really the strat. Maybe Pokemon, if he loses, could be an option. Kind of FD light again. Yeah, that's a big nair. Misses the TI, and that's the first lead of the set. Laud at 75, though.
Yeah, this is looking like a decent lead for Laud. HBox, he has to be patient here. Like, you don't need to force stuff, really. You know, you got 6:33 on the clock.
Yeah, no, you really don't. This is one of the things that I think is actually kind of interesting that you see most in kind of the slow, floaty matchups like this, is in card games, like competitive card games, there's kind of a concept called win conditions, and this exists in all games, which is basically like, how do you win the game? Like, what does your deck do to win the game? And we can kind of apply that same concept to this. Like, what is the win condition for Peach? And what is the win condition for Puff? And with Puff, it's things like spacing back air, getting the edge guards, getting these low percent rests. Peach, it's kind of leveraging these like big, blocky hitboxes. It's kind of using the frame data, the floats, the kind of quick pressure to kind of force things. And it's a dynamic thing, like what are the percents like? Does Peach have the lead? Does she need to be playing aggressively? So it's really cool to see them both kind of play to those win conditions throughout this set.
And HBox slowly bringing this game closer. Oh,
really close.
Gets that back air, but odd DI as well. And yeah, I like that HBox isn't challenging Laud on platforms. You know, you got the down smash, and you got the dare as well. Yeah, so he waits it out there, gets an up air. But you know, it's also like not very high risk for Laud to go for, really.
Ooh.
Not gonna kill HBox there.
This is another one of those situations where like the kind of dynamic of the game has shifted. Right now we're at 119. Now things like Nair probably will kill, certainly forward air will kill, but just like a moment ago, they weren't really worth forcing. So the percent game is so important. Right now, being at 0, you can kind of leverage trades, but you don't want to take too much damage because again, timeout always a factor in this matchup.
Yeah. This one right now doesn't feel like it's going to be on pace, but, you know.
Nice. Punching the slow roll, slow throw.
Yeah, sometimes Puff with a turn-up can be pretty scary, even though her throw is bad. You know, if you hit a turn-up in certain situations, it could just lead to a low percent rest. But her throw is just so bad that it doesn't happen too often.
We're seeing a lot of counter hits. Trades are another really big thing in this matchup. Kind of whether it's worth it to go for the trade or try to kind of build that chip damage. Right now, being kind of in the same spot, trade's probably not too bad, but the low percent's where you can kind of get those combos too. So,
yeah, I think trades are good to go for. Generally, as Peach, it's definitely percent dependent, but you know, Jigglypuff's gonna die earlier, so it's good to go for. Plus, it gets you positioning, and you can pull a turn up. So.
ooh, look at that for turn-up control. Able to get a solid like 20% off of that and keeps it going. And suddenly the momentum subtly shifting towards Laud.
Yeah. Box cornered, but doesn't matter too much.
Yeah, Laud giving him the space. Doesn't really want to kind of play off of the edge much. Doesn't want the reversal situation to happen. And able to kind of escape that.
Yeah, this
Oh.
is...
Oh.
Okay, gets that.
This could not be closer.
Yeah, this is so close.
There's extended hitbox, clipping him there, and we are just, this is neck and neck every single situation. The counter throw, we are just so hard to tell which direction it's going to go, and that is a big nair, but not enough.
All right, I think depending on... They could start playing in a way where HBox is trying to go for a timeout.
And that's why I bring up things like the win condition, right? Like, at a certain point, the game state changes, and now a win condition is to play a lot more defensively, play for chip damage. You know, that suddenly becomes an option. Right now, you know, I feel like Puff is just not at the percent where you can kind of get a kill off of a solid hit. So, like, you need to build up just a bit more damage depending on where she is in the stage. There's just so many subtle factors that you kind of are always happening in Melee, but because this match is slower, you get to see it.
Oh, gets that forward air, just does it twice. That's kind of the first time that Laud unwrapped that mix-up where he just aggressively aerials after an aerial instead of doing down smash or grab or waiting for a roll, and it worked out so well.
I really like the decision there for Laud to run to center stage as well.
Yeah.
There was kind of like this weird opportunity for a corner mix-up. This Stitch is huge.
That is so big for Laud, that 49% now, and now HBox is a little bit tilted.
Oh my God,
just
he's looking really
in.
frustrated.
Wow. That seems like it completely destroyed HBox's mental. And that's like another thing about the Peach Puff matchup is this is the Peach matchup where she can grab the most turn-ups. So you'll see the most stitches in this matchup just because of, you know, raw, you know, law of large numbers.
You know, in many ways, I think that when we watch this matchup, we're kind of seeing HBox have to kind of take a taste of his own medicine. You know, like for so long, he's the one who kind of says, you have to wait. I'm going to control the state of the game. We're going to play really patiently, really slow. And, you know, you just have to deal with that. And now in this matchup, Laud's kind of like, I do that too. So here's how that feels.
Yeah, this is looking like a big mountain to climb for Hungrybox. You know, him going for those up tilts wasn't working last game. I don't know if it'll work this game. Maybe Laud will try to get a grab and he crouches it, but this is looking tough.
Oh, that's really scary there. Tech Chase could have been an opportunity. You need to get down from that platform. You do not want to be in that spot.
Oh!
Oh, this is so big.
Oh, doesn't use his double jump there to get that back air, but this is massive now.
Oh my God.
Where did Hungrybox find all
Any
this?
hit will do it though. 136. All you need is an air.
Yeah, nair, up air. Goes for both of them in succession there.
This is what's so impressive about HBox's mental. He looked like he was frustrated. Somehow he dialed it in, and now this is so doable. And timeout is still a factor. Laud could be playing less aggressive than he is. Only 30 seconds left.
Oh my God, that drill was so scary for Laud. And yeah, timeout. It seems like Laud is starting to realize that.
But this is an up smash, and that's going to do it.
God, Hungrybox pulls that back with 19 seconds left on the clock.
What was that? I can't believe HBox turned it around. Yeah, that took a couple years off of his life. Oh man, honestly, the big question there was, should Laud have played a little bit more slowly, timed him out? He had a very sizable lead. And, you know, again, going back to this win condition concept, like, did he kind of play to the wrong win condition? Was there an easier path there?
Yeah. Oh, that's a lot of damage just from up airs and that nair. But, yeah, I think that last game, Laud definitely could have played more defensively. Felt like he just thought he could close it out quickly, but You you can't force stuff versus Jigglypuff and versus
Really can't.
Hungrybox.
Big forward air, but not going to do it. Fortunately, on the opposite side of the stage. Lod, though, you know, clearly showing why he's made top 8, able to stay composed. You know, it was a really rough game, but already he's kind of fighting back, able to get this stock. That's a decent lead, you know. You're really seeing like it's wearing out both of these players. I would not want to be whoever the winner is just has to go right into like another draining set. It's rough.
Yeah. So yeah, this lead is definitely a lot bigger for Lod than it would be on Battlefield because, you know, Puff does have drill up smash, which will kill earlier, but most of the kills feel like they're coming horizontally, and you know this back air at 90 on Battlefield that leads an edge guard, but Lod's a lot closer to the stage, center stage now.
Absolutely. One of the stories of this set, too, is also Lod's ability to play around the drill. Obviously, drill's still a factor, but we haven't seen it clipping as much. We've seen SDI defensively from Lod, just making it a lot harder for that like really fairly reliable kill setup to work. And there it is, once again.
Yeah. That was kind of a weird drill because he's doing it rising, but then, you know, Hungrybox is like an absolute master of drill, like able to get that last hit at the very bottom and then have it combo into up smash. But Lod still with a decent lead here. Not too much though now.
Yeah, doesn't want to force anything, but, you know, still a solid amount of damage. Again, kind of trying to build up percent. Right now, again, this is this weird part of the matchup where you're really just playing for a lot of single hits.
Oh, waits for the turn up, get a little more percent. Very smart from Lod. He's a doctor, you know. Okay, that's not going to lead to anything.
Really
though.
clean back air, though, and this is a very, very sizable lead from Lod. Counter pick is working out pretty nicely.
Oh, again. See these aerials that potentially could lead to rest, but
Ooh, look at this pressure, though.
Them.
Lod is just so good at recognizing situations where, oh, we're going to see a kind of optimized punish.
Oh, okay. I thought we were going to see some Armada stuff right there at the up smash.
Yeah, it did look like he was trying to go for an up smash off of that. But then it kind of, setup didn't really play out.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad, you know, like, he's at least trying a fancy rest punish to get the kill instead of just taking, you know, easy aerial or something.
Yeah, well, again, like a kill at this point would kind of be the nail in the coffin for this game. You have 2 stocks to work with. It would be so difficult for HBox to turn it around. And, you know, that's still possible here, able to kind of build up a percent.
One won't kill, though, not on a wide stage like this with DI. But yeah, just Lod so good at the grounded game versus Jigglypuff, always reacting as late as possible.
And these power shields,
to get those power shields.
Oh, we got another Stitch.
Okay.
Like the grab, able to defuse the bomb that is the Stitch in this game. But how does Lod get down? Able to air dodge to the center.
Oh, wow, great FC up air. Okay, that doesn't kill.
Oh,
Lod's trying to fight his way out of the corner. Does it with the full jump and then into a low float, mixing up where he's doing his heights. Yeah, and hitting Lod looks so difficult. His reactions are just so good.
Yeah, and he's so deliberate with everything. Like, if you get a trade, it feels like he wanted the trade. Everything else, just these really solid, clean hits. Such good pressure on the ground as well, forcing Puff into the air. But he has such a lead. Like, what is Puff supposed to do here?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting Stadium to
get a rest, I guess.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting Stadium to look this bad for Hungrybox, but the fact that it is like, he's got to be really glad that he took that last game, you know, made that comeback, because having this as Game 5 would have been rough.
The tricky thing about playing against Puff, and that should do it. Oh my God.
Okay. I don't know what he. Oh, okay.
This is what I was gonna say. Is that like all of a sudden it's doable. Like, you can't really just play for percent alone because you have this kind of wow factor of the rest. This is a very, very doable thing for HBox. Really, again, that rest punish just was not what Lod wanted at all.
I don't know if he just messed up an aerial or if that was like
I'm sure it was a misinput. I don't think.
I feel like Lod wouldn't do that.
Lod's not Mango, so
you know, he's not that
2008
guy.
or whatever. Yeah, that's no.
Oh, hold it down.
Oh my God.
Oh, maybe could have.
Oh, that's going to do it, though.
That down smash on shield
Jeez.
was really scary. Potentially, maybe a rest out of shield there was possible with the wave dash out of shield. But yeah, not quite sure. Lod able to take this to game 5. And we'll see where we go on the counter pick. Okay, it's Yoshi's story from Hungrybox. He likes the stage in general. He honestly, like, I feel like sometimes Hungrybox is, oh my god, that just killed straight up. Hey, that's the advantage of Yoshi, you know?
That's actually a setup I hadn't brought up, but it is quite common when you see you're below Peach on the platform. Down smash can be such a good tool, but I actually have a whole video on it. So
that I hadn't seen that setup before. That was crazy. And you know, the low side plat of Yoshi's making that a lot easier. But yeah, now HBox, you know, can just do his thing. This is a massive lead for Jigglypuff.
And it's kind of the rests are sort of been missing for most of the set, you know? That was something that really wasn't happening, so to start the set off like that. I mean, this is still doable. Law just won with a 2-stock. I think this is also a stage where you can suddenly get a lot of momentum, get a stock earlier. But, you know, the lead, playing from behind, this is so difficult.
I wonder if that was something HBox was saving, because a lot was going for a lot of platform down smashes, and there weren't big punishes on it. And then now that we're on game 5, you just open it up with a big rest. And
I think it's more about like he started to catch on, and then kind of adapted. I don't think it would make sense really to like forgo going for that option if you had it like available to you. But good nair from Lod. 117, not going to be easy. I like this is what I'm saying about avoiding the drill, using the light shield, using SDI, kind of just various tools to make it just difficult to kill. But how much can he get in this stock? This is already kill percent.
Getting rid of those Shy Guys. And then getting rid
Apparently
of Peach.
nothing, yeah.
Moving to Regicide. This is tough. I feel like at this point, Peach is just like, I don't know. She's kind of screwed, but we'll see what Lod can do here.
I mean, he's been able to get a fair amount at low percents, and he actually has been winning neutral a lot. But
the other thing is this is Yoshi, so your aerials are going to kill a lot earlier, especially up air. So you have to win neutral fewer times to make this comeback.
I still feel this is doable. I feel with the way that Lod has been playing, it is a mountain to climb, and you know, his tournament life is on the line. Lod, not someone who's been playing, who's been as active. This is one of the few events he's going to. He needs to make it count, but HBox has so much to prove.
Really does.
Nice.
Oh.
Suddenly, the magic percent making it happen. It's not looking too impossible.
It feels doable now, but oh, not good DI on that forward air, and that'll lead to a potential death for Lod. Oh,
beautiful recovery from Lod, though. Back into center, and we're going back to neutral. Every hit is so meaningful here.
I love to see a power shield counter from Lod after he plays versus Jigglypuff. He always gets up to like 100, it feels like. Oh my god, that was a quick grab.
Just anything, denying any value is so huge. You know, he could have taken 5-6% there or whatever turnips do, but doesn't because of the grab.
Oh, okay. Lod is playing this so well right now. You have 430 on the clock. You don't need to force stuff right now. You just got to even up percent. Or take the stock, because you're going to take the stock a lot quicker on Jigglypuff.
It's a Stitch!
Oh, and this...
Oh, this is
misses... Oh! Yeah, it messes up the drill up smash, but HBox, when Lod has been getting Stitches, has been doing well with getting the grab and, you know, getting the Stitch out of Peach's hands. Okay.
So tricky.
But HBox has a lot of percent on him, too.
Every hit that Lod gets just feels like kind of finding a needle in a haystack. So tricky.
Yeah, this is, this feels relatively close, especially on Yoshi's where Puff has, you know, a harder time circle camping.
Definitely, and just again, like you said, the low percent kills. Like
speaking of, gets the low percent up air, another last stock game.
We are down to the wire.
Oh,
Rest! Oh my God!
Hungrybox does it again. And wow, no. That came out of nowhere.
Just an insane performance from HBox, able to stay composed the entire game, finds a rest. You know, I was talking about needle in a haystack. How did HBox find that rest?
Yeah.
Everything was on the line. Man,
That's huge.
I've been really impressed with HBox's play today.
Yeah.
You know, his play against Cody, really, really impressive. Laud showing us just how good he is in the Peach matchup. That looked so difficult, so demanding.
You know what it was, Radar? It was the second flower.
Is the second flower?
Yeah, one flower wasn't enough.
One flower
You got a second one behind the other ear.
gets him off balance, you know?
Yeah. But he should play Red Jigglypuff if he does that. I play Red Jigglypuff. There's a flower behind your ear, you know.
The underrated
yeah.
Jigglypuff. Yeah.
It's not seen very often, but it's a good one.
Really, really impressive stuff from HBox. Honestly, I kind of thought Laud had that. Like the momentum, suddenly it felt like if he's able to dig himself out of that hole, he can get a set win. And
Yeah.
HBox just kind of nail in the coffin, silencing that. That's just so crazy. Still processing it.
Yeah, I think Laud's gonna be processing it for a while too. Like that's just so rough. But Laud getting knocked out at 5th, another good tournament from Laud. Like,
Yeah.
feels like this guy, you know, spending 100 hours a week or whatever as a resident, and then just comes to the major and then gets top 8 like pretty consistently.
He's a freak, honestly.
he's
Like
he's
it's
so
definitely
good.
freak status. Like I don't know how anyone is able to juggle something at this high level and then
Yeah.
do like one of the hardest jobs that we know of. So really, really impressive. So we obviously got to talk about Fresh Cut because the QR code is on screen. You guys can scan that. If you want to contribute to the pot, there's still so many more matches to come. So again, supporting the scene, any sponsor, kind of show them that we love to see more money in the scene. We love to see support in the scene. And in this case, the money comes from scanning the QR code and contributing to the pot.
Yeah.
So
every download is $1 to the pod, and you know it's free. And you get to see all these clips from the Smash community. Follow your favorite players. See a lot of this, you know, cool stuff we were seeing. But yeah, I think that'll do it for our block, Radar. It's a pleasure.
Yes.
Some great matches. But yeah, we're gonna kick it to a quick break and then swap commentators. So stay tuned for the second half of Top 8.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Keep it locked here at BTS Smash. We got the rest of Major Upset. So many good players, so many good matches still to come.